Hello everyone, Simon here from the Whales of Wall Street, a video here on IOTX. IOTX, if you like, can call it that as well. It's the same thing. Guys, this is a project in the portfolio of ours for some time. It's had a great journey since we started investing, and there's many out there that got in even earlier than we did. So we'll look at the price points in a second, and whether it's a good time to be jumping in or not, and a few other things in that area as well. But before we do that, let's just have a few quick recaps, because it's been a while since I've done an IOTX video. So just to reiterate to other people, very much around AI, machine learning. We have got intro videos if you want to go and watch those for more detail. But for me, what was interesting is the continuation of the developments that are coming. We've seen humongous improvements in the ecosystem of IOTX. We've seen the IOTX Launchpad as well for new projects to launch on there, whether it be games or NFT projects, whatever it is. We're now up to 147, so well up from the 130, I think, at the beginning of the year. So it's good to see the continuation of that. And that's something that will definitely keep growing as time goes by. And there's, of course, loads of other areas here of IOTX as well. MachineFi is very interesting to me. This is very much around Web3, but also the whole machine-to-machine learning, the AI algorithm, the way the world will go, in my opinion, when it comes to blockchain and technology utilizing this kind of stuff. I also have the Pebble here as well, which is a physical device that you could carry around with you for obtaining data and being rewarded for providing that. And that could be anything from like the weather to obstructions to whatever it might be in your environment, and feeding that data back to the system. And that's what ultimately, blockchain, as time goes by, and the way that we will go into more of an autonomous and automated environment, is to obtain more data as much as possible. Could you imagine like how we get like weather reports and stuff now? Of course, that's done by like satellites and this, that, and the other, but actually we already rely as well on like weather units scattered about, right? But imagine if every single person was its own transmitter of information, which we kind of are already, to be honest, because we all carry smartphones around, right? And that in itself is, obviously watching, listening, defining what you do throughout your day, purchasing behaviors, all this stuff, weather, etc., and accumulating that data everywhere else. Once you do that, you can then further the aspect of automation and everything we just mentioned a minute ago. So I mean, this is really interesting. The other interesting thing for me here, and this is almost like where you can think in the matrix format. Okay, so nearly 100,000 users sign up to the IOTX Meta Pebble within 5 days. So this is literally a couple of days old, this article. What is it? We have the Meta Pebble, a miner in your pocket. Okay, so this is the Meta Pebble NFT. So absolutely mental. So April 4th, nearly 100,000 people registered for this virtual minting feature. So this is where we go back to a topic that we mentioned last year about activity to earn. This plays very much alongside of play to earn, view to earn. Now we've got activity to earn, and people couldn't quite understand what I was talking about last year, but this is going to be a very big technological and also social advancement in some capacities. And bear with me while I move on to this subject further. So what we've got here now is the ability for you to sell your data. Not what I'm talking about, not like emails and things like that. What I'm talking about is data of you as a person and what you do during the day. And all this information, kind of linking to what I just mentioned a moment ago, will be deciphered and created essentially like this: global big data analytics. Okay, this is huge, 550 billions worth by 2028. Now this is all about, as I said, automation, autonomous aspects of life. So when we're talking about like in the future, I've mentioned this example many times. It could be health related, to tell you that you're ill in a few weeks time based on the algorithm of your body movements and DNA and stuff like that. which of course will be interlaced with DNA defining chips. But then you've got things like more of a physicality aspect, determining like, oh, there's too many people in this area, we need to move people, and then it would tell people, like they kind of do with Google Maps when you're driving, right? You need to avoid this area, there's too many, we need you to move over here. And then ultimately as well, when CBDCs and stuff like this come in, not saying that IOTX will be fully related to CBDC systems, but the technology is very similar in the sense that it will then start determining what you can and cannot spend your money on, what you do and don't do, or indeed from the activity to earn perspective, if you're healthy, for example, oh, you've done enough exercise, Simon, congratulations, you're able to go and buy this or do this, or here's your reward for doing that. And it may not just be tokens, it might just be a free health drink or something, it could be anything. And by then probably it would be delivered by drone by itself, because it's already worked out where you are, what kind of things you like, and obviously that you've achieved these things. And this is where the transactional perspective comes in the background. So transaction, the action, okay, this is a transfer of an action, and it doesn't have to be financially related. It can literally just be anything that you do moving forwards, because you are now moving forward going to become this data center that will contribute to a bigger system. So now you have these like technologies available here in an NFT format, tamper proof, which is cool because it means, you know, similar to what NFTs are about, right? Verification and ownership and this, that, and the other. That's you as a person as well. We're all going to be in an NFT world soon. This isn't all about collectibles, guys. This is about literally anything and everything becoming a transactional element of the world. And we'll talk about here connecting users, mobile phones to machine Fi in a verifiable way. Machine Fi is really, really interesting, and this is going to be a huge market, guys. This is why I got interested in IOTX in the first place. Similar to kind of IOTA, not as powerful in terms of blockchain aspects and what it's doing across the world, but IOTX has its own capabilities. It's got a great team behind it, very clever team behind it. I just feel like this is going to be a gem that, and I always say this, IoT and AI projects are extremely important, especially in my portfolio. And I do recommend doing some further research on these. Fetch AI, for example, Ocean, these are fantastic as well. Almost doing similar things, but I feel like IOTX is doing some really cool technological things that are very different and unique to the other projects. That's why I'm always trying to accumulate as much as I can. Forgive me for not getting the staking video out yet. We had a few complications with OBS. So I'm hoping to get that out this weekend, because I do think, yes, you can, of course, stake IOTX through some of the exchanges, but I do prefer the native wallet. We can go through how that works and how the validators, you can pick the delegators, etc., and see how that works. And obviously having power yourself through Ledger or mnemonic phrases is always helpful as well. Gives you more power and flexibility with what you do with your tokens, and of course you own them through the private keys, which is the most important thing. So these are really cool little aspects of IOTX. I do recommend, if you haven't seen this project before, go on to our channel and you can search for the intro videos to this project. It was my pick last year as the AI IoT pick for 2021, and it's for sure carrying through to 2022. There's others in our portfolio that's similar now, but this is one, in my opinion, that's so under the radar that in a few years' time, when you get to the full-on machine learning and AI aspects of blockchain and technology, these are going to be the type of projects that are going to absolutely fly, and you're going to look back at these days below 10 cents and be like, wow, look at what it used to be. And that's my opinion, that's my thoughts. Let us know in the comments below if you're holding IOTX, or if indeed you're not and you're interested. Let us know as well in the comments if there's any other videos you want us to do around this topic. If there's something that we've missed in the intros or other videos, do let me know, and we'll for sure accommodate those for you guys. And of course, any of the other videos on our channel, we do cover a multitude of projects, and especially some rabbit hole stuff. I mean, these ones are getting good views at the moment through Quant. So if you want to learn a bit more about CBDCs and the way the world's going, do check those out. I always like to go on a bit of a rant sometimes, so let us know what you think. So guys, let's wrap the info section up. Let's jump into the chart. Do smash the like button and the subscribe button if you have not done so already. And let's take a look at the price of IOTX right now. So literally sitting under 10 cents. Now, I'm really interested right now. We've seen an uptake. I was buying IOTX again back here around mid-March when it was around 7 cents. It went up and I've stopped buying. Mine's in staking at the moment. It's now coming back down. Am I interested right now to be purchasing back in? Absolutely. Why am I looking at this right area now? I want to take a few points. Obviously, we're here right now. This is where we are. We had some good resistance here. I say good in the sense that obviously we want to see things go up, but this is showing good identifiable points for the future and good historic points as well. So we're already starting to see a pattern here. You see resistance here. We've had the tail up. We're now coming down. We're seeing resistance on the way down. Now, this is why it's a good opportunity, in my opinion, for a first dollar cost averaging intake. And what I mean by that is, stepping stone approach on the way down, because you don't know if this is going to go lower, obviously. But this is certainly a good indicator of stability, hitting these previous data points. The next levels down are probably roughly around where this red fib retracement level is, which we nearly touched yesterday, and then further from that is probably around down here to match these levels. But I want to go a bit further, and this is why, because data wise and the longevity of a project, I'm really interested in the movements. Okay, so we've seen IOTX. Unfortunately, the data on this particular one through Huobi only goes back to January last year, but it's still good enough to show you what I'm talking about. If you look at the track back again, look at that resistance. Equally resistance down here to confirm that actually we should be around this area somewhere, and it's kind of tying in with the nice pattern here. And you've got these areas here where we shot past. It wanted to test itself. We had loads of big launches. We had the Pebble launch and all sorts going on last year. I remember that very well. Of course, Metaverse then kicked in. Everyone was jumping into crypto again, and then we had the big tail down. But if you follow the trend pattern, we're very much in line with what we should be looking at. But I want to take us back almost to this area here. Back in April last year, look at that. A very unique touch point upwards, and look, straight in line. Exactly straight in line pretty much with where we are today. Look at that. And it's confirmed around here as well, and the touch point here. So that's why I'm interested now. I'm not just doing it for the sake of it because I'm like, oh, it's stopped going down there. It's going straight. I want you guys to understand, because everyone has an opportunity to learn stuff in charts and stuff. Okay, I'm still learning loads of things, but I'm being really observable about right now is the historic information. This is what traders look at, of course, in the historic aspect, also as trend lines and where we should be as a project. If you think of a straight line diagonally, that kind of sometimes helps with where we should be with things. You can almost draw like a line from here to here, albeit it's slightly out, but when you take it, in fact, let me see if I can draw one. Let me just show you what I mean. So if you took this through the line, and we're not quite there yet, obviously, but as time goes by, you could argue, for example, that roughly around mid-April in May, we should be arguing that we should be above this area here. So we're looking pretty much, and again, if I just draw one all the way down as well, it gives it a nice reflective pattern. It's quite a steep one here, so it's not the perfect example, but you're looking to try and tract around this area here. And this is where, if you go inside or outside these lines, it's where you sometimes see a bit of volatility. So we're literally right banging in. And what you usually expect, if I just put that there a bit, is a nice squeeze. And you do see the patterns here still, but you do tend to get a bit of a squeeze. And then when you finally compact yourself, this is when you usually start seeing a bit of a bull run. I'm not saying it's going to definitely happen around this time. I'm just giving this as an overall example. I just probably need to tie this up a bit more to have a bit more of a reflective pattern here. But my point still stands. This is what usually happens along with the charts. So actually there's still some good opportunities, in my opinion, along the way here in the next month or so to accumulate. We've still got the crazy narratives around the world as well. You've got to bear that in mind. But back to my point, I'm really excited about this current area here again. It's another opportunity on the way down, and these are probably going to be buy areas that I look at additionally. So I'm going to be doing, once I finish this call, a manual buy order right now, and then I'm going to put some buy orders in here at the probably just above there, so around 7.7 cents, and then I'm going to put one down lower here around 6.9, 6.8 cents as well. So there's a bit of a gap between the 1 cent there, but I'm happy with that. That is probably very far-fetched to be coming back down here again, but I'll play it by ear. If we get to this area, I might adjust one and put one slightly in between that. we'll have to see. But a couple of things to look at before we wrap this video up, guys. We're obviously in a bit of a sell-off pattern here right now. The MACD switched over on the 6th of April, confirming a bit of a bear move. So that's why I'm interested in these lower areas as well, because I don't think we're going to complete that just yet. We have had a bit of a tick up on the RSIs, just to show a bit of green there, and that's confirmed in these areas too. But what else am I interested in? Certainly on the 14-day, coming 44 now, as you can see these colours here. 14-day, 90-day, 28-day, so relative strength index. If I see that coming round to about 42.40, that's probably where we're going to see the sort of 7.5 cent mark potentially as time goes by. But also on the 28 days, confirming a bit more of longevity pattern on a monthly basis, coming down to 48. If that gets around to 45, again, that's probably where we might see the below 8 cents mark. Again, a good indicator for that. 90 days I don't really pay massive attention to, but that is coming on its slightly way down, as you'd expect, because most projects have been coming down significantly since November last year. We can confirm as well on the pricing performances here as well. 19% down on the 3 months, which is really dragging itself down already, which is really good to see. Hopefully we'll be on zero in the next month or so. 16% down on the week, but bear in mind we've had this nice take up. In fact, I'm just going to move this one across so I don't have to draw a new one. We've been moving ourselves a good 70% from these low regions mid-March to the end of March. Really fantastic. But now we're on the way down, of course. So this is where we can start thinking, oh, okay, well, we've been to these higher. I'm just going to put it around there. And we're now on around 30%. So for me, that's a good section to be putting in a manual order for me personally, not financial advice. Like I said, just waiting for these other areas. Because the other indicators are a bit mix and match at the moment, but it's good to see the month on the green as well. So guys, I'm going to wrap that up there. Let us know if you're holding IOTX or you're about to. Any further questions or things you want us to look at with IOTX, do drop them in the comments. We will indeed see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.